Hi, I am Ramkar. Welcome to our channel Global Perspective. And today I am going to discuss about GDP and GNP.
Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sunset TV. I'm Tina Jha, you're watching Perspective. The Indian economy is estimated to grow at 7% in the 2022-23 fiscal, down from 8.7% a year ago. As per the first advanced estimates of national income released by the National Statistical Office, this slip is mainly due to poor performance of mining and manufacturing sectors. The manufacturing sector output is estimated to decelerate to 1.6% in the current fiscal from 9.9% back in 21-22. Similarly, mining sector growth is estimated at 2.4% in the current fiscal as against 11.5% in 21-22. Although the current projections are lower than the government's earlier forecast of 8 to 8.5% growth, they are above the RBI's projection of 6.8%. Remember, the Reserve Bank had lowered the country's GDP growth forecast from 7% to 6.8% for the current fiscal, owing to the continued geopolitical tensions and also tightening of global financial conditions. So we'll analyze the difference in forecasts, also growth projections for different sectors, and the challenges ahead with distinguished panelists joining us on the program.
Very important topic of economics. Certainly, there is a comprehensive overview of GDP and GNP. So, video may be long. I hope you would see this video start to end. First of all, we see gross domestic product GDP and gross national product GNP in comprehensive way. What is GDP and GNP? GDP and GNP are essential economic indicators that measure the economic activity and performance of country. They provide insights into the size, growth and structure of an economy. Understanding these concepts is crucial for policymakers, economists and investors to assess health and development of nation's economy. Then next, what is GDP? Gross domestic product, GDP, is a total value of all goods and services produced within the country's borders in a specific time period, typically a year or a quarter. It serves as a measure of country's economic output and its overall economic health. GDP can be calculated using three different approaches: the production approach, and the income approach, and the expenditure approach. Expenditure approach. The expenditure approach calculates GDP by summing up the total expenditure on goods and services in an economy. The formula for calculating GDP using the expenditure approach is GDP equal to consumption plus investment plus government spending plus exports minus imports. First, consumption. What is consumption? This includes all household spending or on goods and services. This is called consumption. Next, investment. This comprises business spending on the capital goods, residential construction, and changes in business inventories. Government spending. This refers to all government expenditure on the goods and services, excluding transfer payments. Net exports. This is the difference between the value of exports and imports. A positive net export indicates a trade surplus, while a negative net export indicates a trade deficit. Income approach. The income approach calculates the GDP by summing up all the incomes earned in an economy. It includes wages, salaries, profits, rents and interests. The formula for calculating GDP using the income approach is GDP is compensation of employees, gross operating surplus, gross mixed income, taxes on the production and imports, subsidies. Next, production approach. The production approach calculates GDP by the summing of the value added to each stage of production. Value added is the difference between the value of forms output and value of intermediate inputs. By adding of values and added across the all industries, GDP can be calculated. Gross national product. What is GNP? GNP measures that the total value of final goods and services produced by a country's residents, both domestically and abroad, within a specific time period. It includes not only the production within the countries, but also income earned from the abroad. GNP takes into account of ownership of factors production and including factors owned by the residents but located abroad and factors owned by foreigners but located within the country. GNP formula is GDP plus net factor. Income from abroad, net factor, income from abroad equal to factor income earned by the residents from the abroad, factor income earned by foreigners within the country. GDP vs GNP. Key differences. We see key differences between GDP and GNP. First, scope. GDP measures economic activity within a country's border, not abroad, while GNP measures the economic activity of country's residents regardless of their location. Second, factor income. GNP includes net factor income from the abroad, which accounts for income earned from the foreign investment and income paid to foreign investors within the country. Nationality vs location. GDP focuses on production within a country, while GNP focuses on the production by the country's residents, regardless of where that production occurs. And fourth point, trade balance. GDP doesn't directly account for the trade balances within, while GNP considered net factor income, which include trade earning from the abroad. Calculating GDP and GNP. How? Calculating both GDP and the GNP involves meticulous data collections and analysis. National statistical agencies, central banks, and the international organizations gather the information from the various sectors of the economy to calculate these indicators. Importance of GDP and GNP. Economy performance. First of all, economy performance. GDP and GNP are crucial indicators of a country's economic performance and growth over time. And second, policy formulations. Policy maker use these indicators to make informed decisions about fiscal and monetary policies to promote economic growth and stability. And third point, most important, international comparison. GDP and GNP enable international comparison of economic health and standard of living in among countries. And fourth, investment decisions. Investors use these indicators to assess the economic conditions of a country before making investment decisions. Income distribution. GDP, GNP data can provide insights into income distributions and disparities within a country. And next, we see the limitation of GDP and GNP. First of all, first limitation excludes the non-market activities. Measures do not account for non-market activities such as household labor and volunteer work. And second, quality of life. They do not capture the overall quality of life, includes factors like education, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. And third point, income inequality. GDP and GNP may not reflect income inequality within a countries. As they focus on aggregate figures. And fourth point, black market and informal economy. These measures may not be accurately capture the size of black market and the informal economy. And last, alternative measures. What is the alternative measures of first point, gross national income, GNI, includes all income earned by residents, whether domestically or broadly. It is increasingly used instead of GNP. Human Development Index, HDI, combined GDP per capita, life expectancy, and education to assess a country's overall development. And third point, gross happiness index, GHI. Some countries use these alternative measures to consider citizens' happiness and well-being. Now, we can see as a conclusion about GDP and GNP. GDP and GNP are vital indicators that provide a comprehensive overview of a country's economic performance, growth, and development. While the GDP focused on the economic activity within a country's borders. And GNP includes the income earned by country's residents, both domestically and abroad. These indicators are instrument for policymakers, economists, and investors to gauge economic health, formulate policies, and make informed decisions. However, they should be interpreted alongside other measures to gain a holistic understanding of nation's well-being and progress. So that's all about GDP and GNP. I hope you must watch this episode in multiple time. Then topic would be more clear. Thank you for listening me, and please like and subscribe my channel, and hit the bell icon for information of next upcoming video. Thank you to all of you.